Okay, I've already decided that Jordan is a fool, but I'm here for absolutely all of it. The Bachelorette is back, so hate watch it with me. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Alright, you guys, so I could not get into The Bachelor. I watched the first episode of it, and that Ari dude, he just seemed like a douchebag, and I didn't care about him. I guess I kind of also wanted somebody from Rachel's season to be The Bachelor, and I just wasn't into it. Also, like, I'm not into watching women fight over an ill-qualified, not exciting man. And that's all that was there for me with Ari and The Bachelor. So I thought I was done with the franchise. I thought I was over it. And then Monday night, I was like, what the heck? I'll watch it. I'm with my nephew. Like, he's up to like all times of the night. Let's be entertained. So I started watching The Bachelorette, and girl, I've fallen into it. So I'm going to be reviewing it, and you're going to be here to hate watch it with me. So as I start to watch the first episode, I get the same feelings that I've always gotten with The Bachelorette, that it's fake, that it's put on. But this time, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I just am here for the pure entertainment of watching men fight over one woman, the way that women fight over men in real life and on The Bachelor. Okay, so let's get started. So our Bachelorette is Becca K. Apparently, Becca K was proposed to by Ari, and I guess they spent a couple of days together as the Bachelor and his bride, and then Ari decided that he wanted to go with the other girl instead. That, you know, he sat her down and he said, I feel like being with you is making me miss out on what I could have with the other chick. And I thought, wow, that was really rude. I don't know how you break up with somebody, but telling them that being with them makes them think about the other person is just heart-wrenching. I mean, so I guess 2 weeks later, she got told that she was going to be the Bachelorette, and now she's here for love. It's weird for me because I'm like, literally she was proposed to and made it to the end. So I don't know what the time period is between her breakup with Ari and her being the Bachelorette, but it seems a little short, especially because I heard her say in the recap of the end of The Bachelor that she can't imagine her life without anybody but Ari. The bubble of The Bachelor, you guys, the bubble that these people are in, and it makes them say things that are just like crazy, makes me realize how real Peter actually was. I don't want to go back to Rachel's season, but I kind of do. Anyways, this is a new season. We've got Becky with the new dark hair. I'm not necessarily into it, so I wish that her hair were just a little bit lighter. Becky with the dark hair feels to me like she's still sad, like she's still mourning and she's still going through it. I would have liked for them to lighten her hair and maybe given us a fresh look. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she needed to be blonde, but I'm saying I could have done with like a light, you know what I'm saying? Like a little bit lighter than what it was in Ari's season. Just like, you know, a fresh, lighter look, you know? She's looking a little sad. She is heretofore known as Becky with the dark hair. Let's get started in this episode. So at the beginning, she's talking about how excited she is about having this journey, and she knows that the Bachelor works, and so she's ready to find love. And she gets to the mansion, and who's there but my girl Rachel with her like wavy wig, you know? Like, I just will forever be talking about Rachel's hair. At least her eyelashes weren't attacking me. And then there was two other girls who I didn't know. There was a brunette girl who was talking, and there was a blonde girl who absolutely said nothing. But Rachel was the most vocal, and I think Rachel gave the best and most sage advice. She was happy to have, I guess, that kumbaya moment with former bachelorettes who are still currently with their booze. Okay, so then we have the night of. She's wearing this beaded dress that everyone thinks is so stunning on her. Again, I didn't notice the dress because her hair was distracting me. I'm gonna take everybody's advice and say that it was a beautiful beaded gown. We have our first person that comes out is, I think Colton. It's the football player that has like the charity for the kids with like fibromyalgia. I think that's the word. He's actually quite beautiful. They do like a back story on him. They do a backstory on, I think his name is Joe. He's a grocer in Chicago, and literally my favorite. Like, I love him. Like, I love him. And then they do a backstory on Clay. They do a backstory on Garrett. Garrett is like, likes to do anything in the snow that's sporty. So like shoes, snowing, snowboarding, fly fishing, other things I don't know about. Clay, like, he's actually currently a football player, and he has a weird voice. Like, I would not expect that sound to come out of his face. He's got the body of a god. He has a weird voice. A weird voice that I don't expect to come out of that man, you know? But it's okay. You can't help that you don't got the bass in the voice. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to my notes. Another guy that they do a little backstory on is Jordan. He's a male model. He's 25 years old, and he says that modeling has taken up pretty much all of his time, and he feels like Becca deserves a little bit of that time. That he's here to make Becca's time on this show good. And I have a feeling that he's going to be the villain because throughout the entire night, he low-key was narrating everything that was going on. He was spilling the tea about every single person there. Like, he was talking about Leo, who had the top bun with the curly hair. He was talking about the guy in the chicken suit. He was talking about every guy who didn't wear socks. Like, he was just on a roll talking about people, girl. Like, I'm here for his tea, I'm here for his drama and his ish talking. So the funny thing about Jordan is that he came there in a like heather gray suit thinking that he was going to be so original and so different. And I'm just like, boo, like, you know, you get a charcoal gray, you get a heather gray, and you get a navy, and you get a black suit. The only thing that would make you different is if you wore like kind of that like electric blue suit, like the suit that Andre wore on his wedding to Elizabeth in 90 Day Fiancé. Like that color, I think would stick you out a little bit more. But as far as your heather gray suit, girl, like, no, I'm sorry, you're not that original. But yeah, I love it because Jordan is super into himself. He thinks he is so hot. He thinks he's like this great fashion guy. All right, so I'm not going to go in order with who got out of the car when because I didn't write that down. I just simply wrote a list of men who I find to be interesting and I want to see them move forward. And I want to tell you a little bit about what I liked about them. So first we have Connor. Connor is a trainer who's 25 years old. I can't remember what else he did, but he must have done something because I wrote his name down first and I was into it. All right, so next we have Clay, which I already talked about. He's 30 years old and he's the football player. Now we have John. John is interesting, and I'm not even sure if that's his name, but he is like the only Asian guy that I saw there. This crowd is not very diverse at all. But interesting thing about here is he's a software engineer, and he developed the app Venmo. So there goes your millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, oh, Venmo? Oh, great, you're smart and you're creative? Okay, bye, everyone else. I'm gonna go live in Silicon Valley with the rest of the plastics. And then you have Kristan, who's a globetrotter. So his thing with her is that he set up a basketball court, had her put her hands up in the air with a basketball in it, and he ran, jumped over her, and dunked the ball. And I was super impressed. He has really great eyes, too. I like him. Next, we have Willis. Wills. He's a graphic designer. He says he's a nerd. He has Expecto Patronus tattooed on his forearm, which I thought was really nerdy, because I love me a Harry Potter, but will I get Expecto Patronus tattooed on me? No, ma'am, I would not. Oh, and I do like Will's because he has natural hair. Like, all the other black men have, like, either a low cut or some waves, and I just like Will with his little bitty natural hair fro. I dig that. I dig that on national TV. You feel me? Next, we have Jean Blanc, who's Haitian. He came out of the limo, he walked up to Becky and said, hey, I wanted to teach you some French, and then proceeds to speak the worst sounding French I have ever heard in my entire life. Like, it was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, he didn't put no kind of stank on it. Like, if I'm gonna, like, pretend to speak Spanish and I'm gonna go on The Bachelor and I'm gonna say, hey, I want to teach you how to say, you know, in Spanish. Like, I'm not gonna be like, ¿sabes qué? Like, I'm gonna be like, ¿sabes qué? Like, I'm gonna throw a little bit of something. It was like me saying, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Like, why wasn't it like, oh, voulez-vous coucher avec? It's something. I mean, I know Haitian people. I know Haitian people who speak the French, and it doesn't sound like that. It was so weird. Also, do the damn thing. Was that her tagline from The Bachelor? Because I don't understand why it's like a theme in this show. And I also think it's kind of corny and annoying. Also, I'm hate watching, so there we go. Oh, and Jean Blanc, he really loves cologne. And I appreciate a guy who smells good, actually. That's one of my criteria. I need a man who, like, understands that, like, smelling good and presenting himself well is important. So next we have Joe, the Chicago grocery store owner who I love, and she ends up sending home, spoiler alert, she ends up sending him home. And I guess it was because he was nervous. I don't know why, girl. Like, he said he sold watermelons and that's how he got to being a grocer. But I'm like, girl, he owns his own business in Chicago. Like, why would you say no to that? What is she looking for is my question. Listen, I've had some good experiences with blue collar white men. I love them. So next we have Blake. She says she really likes him and she had a connection and he's really there for love and all the quote unquote right reasons, which is always something that someone says. They're not here for the right reasons. All of them are on a reality show about love because they want to be seen by America. Whether or not they actually have a business that they're trying to promote on the side, they still are all on television because they want to be on television and seen in front of the entire country. So they all are there for the wrong reasons, I think, right? Like even the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. So the next person is Lincoln. I'm not into Lincoln. He's British Nigerian. He talks about how his mother is waiting for him to get married. And I'm like, is your mother waiting for you to come home with Becky, though? Because most of the Nigerian mothers I know wouldn't necessarily be into that. Is Becky gonna learn how to cook jollof rice? So next we have David. He owns an equity firm, a private equity firm. Girl, he's the guy who came in with the chicken suit. I thought it was a cute little thing. He kept going like, baka, baka. And I was like, that's really corny, but like, you know, he's allowed to be corny. Okay, so the next person that I saw that I really liked. So Garrett is the same one who likes to fly fish. He's from Reno. He pulled up in a minivan with like baby stuff in the back and like children's thing, basically telling her that he's ready to go. He's ready to get his Midwestern on and have a baby, even though he's not from the Midwest. But it felt very Midwestern to me. It felt very like, let's start a family now, you know? We have Chris R, who is messy. So what happened is Chris R knew something about some dude named Chase. Chris doesn't know what he wants to do, if he's gonna go up to Chase and say anything. So he decides to ask Blake and the Globetrotter dude what he should do. He's like, hey dudes, I got some information about Chase. Seems like he might be here for all the wrong reasons. Should I tell Becky? They're like, yeah, bro, you should. I feel like they totally set him up. They totally set him up to fall, him or Chris. They were just like, yeah, go ahead, tell her. Because like any real bro would be like, nah, go ahead and stay out of that mess. It's not your business. Don't worry about it. Let it happen. Let the pieces fall where they may. They were like, no, you should definitely go tell her. So I'm watching out for Sneaky Blake and Chris Donna. Chris R has mutual friends with another person in the house named Chase. As soon as Chase's name was called at like the announcement episode, I guess the one episode I missed, he got some text messages from one of Chase's ex-girlfriends saying that Chase is not there for the right reasons and just to start drama. And he is like questioning whether or not he should tell Becca. But he decides to go up to Chase and talk to Chase about it. And Chase is like, I dated that girl 2 years ago for like a month. Like it really isn't that big a deal. But from that, he got really nervous. And when he had his one-on-one with Becca that night, he mentioned it to Becca and then brought Chris in on the one-on-one to like explain to Becca what it is that happened and what text message he got. And then Becca felt the whole situation was a little weird and a little fishy and it put doubt in her mind, as it would have put doubt in my mind as well. But my thing is like, why did Chris R even do that? Like, I felt like she should have kicked both of them off. That would have been red flags for both of them. Chris R is messy, and then Chase is messy. Like, they're just two messy people. It's just dumb. Okay, so the next guy we have is Jake. Jake is a dude who's known Becca from their hometown. Now, here's what's weird about this whole situation. So Becca sees Jake and she's like, oh shoot, I know him. And he's thinking probably, oh, I'm a shoo-in. We already know each other. We have mutual friends. Becca's like, so I just wanted to have a little one-on-one with you because, so we know each other, right? And it's weird that you come on this show and we know each other. And he's like, well, we only met that one time and I want the opportunity to get to know you. And Becky's like, no, actually we met more than that. Like the Christmas party, we've met several times before the Christmas party. And he's like, honestly, I don't remember. And I'm like, dude, how come you don't understand what's going on here? She's saying, we've met several times and each time you've never made a move for me. But all of a sudden now I'm the Bachelorette and you want to be on my season? Like, you should have taken yourself out of it because you knew that you're not into me. You weren't into me until I was on this show. And he's just like, no, I want to give it a chance. I'm a different person than I was a year ago. I'm like, you're not a different person than you were a year ago. Like, you're still the same person, boo. Like, you didn't transform that much to where all of a sudden you weren't attracted to her and now you are. You transformed so much that who you are attracted to in this world has changed, and now it's her now because you're a different person. What does that mean? Did you think she was ugly before? Did you think she wasn't good enough for you before? Like what? Like you wanted something better before, but now that she is better because she's on a show and other people find her attractive, you're now attracted to her? I don't think so. I'm not into it. I'm not into it. So she sent his ass home, as I think she should have. As I think she should have. All right, so the next person that I want to talk about is Ricky. He's a black dude, but he's not Will's, so I can't really remember that much about him, but I'm going to keep my eye on him. We did have another black dude named Darius, but he was wearing like a terrible suit with a red tie, and she sent his ass home, and I would have as well. Okay, so then we had a dude named Ryan who had like a blazer that looks like a tapestry. Like his blazer looked like it belonged on a wall in like a medieval home. Like a rug that was hanging on a wall that someone cut out, took off, and put on his body. And I was just like, okay, choice, because we all remember him, you know, choices. So it was a good choice, but I'm gonna need him to let go of all of the tapestry blazers that he has. No more on national television, you feel me? Okay, so next we had Nick. Nick is an attorney, but Nick like walked up in a race car suit, like as though he is a race car driver, the way Ari was, to try to remind her of it, and I was just like, that's weird. And it's like his personality seems really interesting beyond that, so I'm interested in see what Nick brings to the table. She gave this dude named Trent a rose, and I was like, who is Trent? Like, we didn't see him at all. At least I don't remember him at all. So he must have made a good impression, but like he didn't make a good impression on me because I was like, who the hell is Trent? I didn't ever see his face at all. And the next person we have is Camille. So Camille steps out of the car, and I like his shoes initially, but he does this whole thing with her where he's like, oh, well, I'll meet you halfway. We'll do 60-40. We'll do 50-50. And it was just too much. Like he was just too full of himself. Oh, I know who Trent was. Trent was the dude who jumped out of the hearse. Oh, I don't really remember much about him besides that. In fact, I didn't even remember him at all when she gave him the rose. Anyways, let's go back to Camille. Camille is cute though. That whole thing of him being weird when he got out of the limo of like 60-40, now you walk here and I'll walk there and like that's how it's gonna be. And it just was too much, and like he felt very cocky, like he knew he was in it to win it, and he was like she was gonna pick him, but because he is very cute, and I think in his like cosmos, in his world, he's like a super hard-boiled catch, and in this he wasn't, because when she sent him home at the end of the night, he felt that he was really embarrassed. He was like, I'm very, very embarrassed. Very, 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 very embarrassed. And I was like, oh shoot, like this his ego took a dive. He did the wrong thing, you know? Sometimes you gotta feel out the lady that you're dealing with, and he didn't know that he couldn't be that kind of cocky bravado, like, you know, thing. And Becky was not into it. So then we had a guy named Leo, and he's again the guy who had the hair up in a bun, and he pulled it off to do like a bit at the beginning when he first met Becca. She kept him around. I'm okay. I want to see what Leo has to offer. I'm gonna call him Leo the Lion because of his lion's mane. Out of the people that I named, the one that she did not give the ring to, the one that she didn't give a rose to was Joe, my boo from Chicago, that grocer. I love him so much. But she did give the first impressions rose to Garrett. Rachel and the other ladies beforehand had told her that she needed to be careful and think about the person that she gave her first impression rose to, because all three of them married or got proposed to or chose the guy who they gave their first impressions rose to. So we're looking at Garrett now like he definitely might go all the way. Let me pick my top 5, and now that I have to kick off Joe because of this whole shenanigans. So I'm gonna put them on the board so you guys can see them right now. My people are Clay, Blake, Garrett, Trent, Colton. I'm really excited to see what this season has to offer. I think that they're a group of very interesting men. I want to see how they handle situations, and I will be excited for it. Oh, you know what? One dude did show up with a choir. Who was that dude who showed up with a choir? Oh, Chris showed up with a choir. He's a sales guy. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. That's how I chose to do this one. I'll be more detailed in my normal self next week. If you guys watch 90 Day Fiancé, please watch my review on 90 Day Fiancé because I love that show and it's back, and I'm gonna be doing 90 Day Fiancé and The Bachelorette, and it's gonna be so much. So these videos might not be up right after. They might be up on a Friday or a Thursday, more so than a Tuesday or a Wednesday, just because I have so much going on that I have to edit and get out to you guys. So I am excited though, and I hope you guys are excited, and let's get this journey together. Okay, leave your comment down below for your top 5. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and let's have a conversation. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.